were braiding down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You had braids and no, I'm just
Una
kidding.
little trencita.
Nobody
With
man.
beads on
I used to
Nobody-
have to take the hair out of my teeth.
Nah. Is it a free floss, please?
Reggaeton.
Reggaetone.
Spaghettios.
So, Marvin, we've just started your first podcast. Why don't you lead us into it? I've been recording for the last minute here.
Oh, shit.
Seriously?
Woo woo. Yay, Marvin.
You're kidding. Really? Well, hello there. My name is Marvin, and they gave me a title of Uncle Marvin.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to my new show, which I think all of you two listeners or watchers out there, here at Sticky Paws Studios, I'm the CFO here. And to my right is sitting Daverick Lyles. And Daverick has been doing a show here at Sticky Paws Studios for over a year with his own podcast called Black Ice Reality Check. It's a phenomenal show. He asked me to come on as a guest about a week or two ago, and he was just asking me questions about my life. And being the last generation of the Holocaust survivors, he was very interested in asking me questions about the Holocaust and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So I went on the show, and some of the topics were probably very difficult to talk about, but I talked as much as I could about it without getting choked up. And after the show, my nephew, who is John Orlando, the Chief Executive Officer here at Sticky Paws Studio, he gave me a call the next morning early, about 7:30 in the morning. I said, uh-oh, there's problems at the studio, seeing that it was John on the phone. So I pick up the phone, and he starts raving about the show that I did with Daverick. And I said, I was blown away. He said not only was the show good, but it was getting tremendous viewership and listenership. And we talked for about an hour, and he said to me, I should have my own show. I said, John, I've never done anything like this. I'm not a guy behind a speaker or whatever. I don't do that. I'm behind the scenes. He said, you're a natural. So anybody out there, listen to me. If this show flops, it's not my fault. It's John Orlando's fault. Okay?
Damn it, John.
John.
So to my left is sitting Lana Chavez. Mm-hmm. She has a show here at Sticky Paws Studios called Laughing with Lana. Mm-hmm. And
it's a good show.
She's been doing it for how long, Lana? How long have you been here?
Since January, so about 7 months now.
7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I thought you'd been here longer.
No, just 7 months.
Wow.
So
I've
just
been
to
interning here since November.
November.
Since
And
November.
you do a great job.
Thank
You
you.
do a great job here.
I love it here. I'm
Yeah.
still here. It's been 7. That's been 9 months since
Just
I've
to
been
show
here.
you how there is longevity here at Sticky Paws Studio.
Hell yeah,
She hasn't killed anybody yet.
Well, yesterday's podcast, I almost killed somebody yesterday.
Saw that.
I was about to shank somebody. He was getting on my nerves. And yeah, but that was yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
That's why I'm sitting way over here. I saw part of that. I was like, I better turn this off. Don't mess with Lana tomorrow.
So
Exclamation point.
the name of the show, after John and I were talking about it, we came up with the name. It's going to be called Ask the Old Man, Uncle Marvin.
Hell yeah.
So just to go to show you, I'm going to be 80 years old.
Really?
I think I'm the oldest podcast host around.
In the world.
In
No,
the world.
stop. I told you to say in the world, okay?
Really?
We got to do some Googling here, but
Google Larry
It's a
King
good
first.
chance.
Google
Yeah.
Larry King first. 'Cause I know that motherfucker.
All right. I think I'm the oldest podcast host
Hell
in the world.
Yeah.
And also goes to show you, you're never too old to try new things.
Exactly. I
Right?
love that. I love that.
So the
Facts.
premise of the show is when I have guests on, or most podcasters have guests on, the host usually asks questions of their guests.
Yes.
I want to do a little twist. I want to have my guests come on and have them ask me questions. I've got a little bit of history. I have a very colorful background in a lot of various areas. And I think I can add some interest into the topics. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me is irrelevant. But I'm only going to give you my opinions and my inputs from my life experience. And just like the show you and I did, Derek, I mean, I thought it was terrific. I think the questions you asked me were spot on. And I think I answered a lot of them, even though we got a lot of negative responses.
We did?
You always will.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of negative responses. A lot of people that didn't agree with me or
Well, yeah, and there was deniers. People that
deniers,
didn't. I
deny
just-
the Holocaust and shit like that.
I didn't even respond to it. What do you say?
Yeah, what do you say? Right.
I mean-
read a book. How about read a book?
I don't know. I mean, especially somebody that's been there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
Walk in my shoes for a couple of feet.
Well, I guess the history of that is that people keep saying that, like, what's his name? Hitler didn't know about it, and it was like all like somebody else, and the Holocaust didn't really happen because
Right.
it wasn't Hitler and all this.
Right.
It's like these weird ass deniers that like, but you actually lived this. You're like, bro,
Right.
fuck you.
Yeah. I don't even listen to that bullshit, because
That's good.
these people are absolutely ignorant.
And they're like my age. People
And
who weren't even born then.
Even
are you Gen
older-
Z?
No. Oh,
You Gen?
I am a millennial.
Oh, millennial. What's Gen Z go to? What's the age of that?
I think
think-
18.
I think-
18?
Yeah, those
18.
are
Oh,
like,
you're not. I thought you were 18. I'm just kidding.
what do you want?
What do you want now?
Want?
I just don't remember the brackets of
I don't
the
either,
Gen.
but I know I'm a millennial.
think
Now,
it's
are you
about 96.
considered a baby boomer then?
I'm
Are you on the?
I'm pre-baby boomer.
So you're like
Baby boomers came after the war.
okay.
Yeah.
So you were the Great Recession.
Mesozoic era.
Great Recession.
Mesozoic? I was joking.
Mesozoic.
I was joking. He was in the. Did you ever see that picture of the Last Supper with Jesus? He was in there. That.
And insert that image now.
Hey, Larry King. By the way, Larry King is 87, but he was a television
Yeah.
before podcasting, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys weren't able.
Larry
to...
King was actually was
radio.
a newspaper man first.
Did he? So he was part of the Holocaust then, wasn't he? If he.
Larry King was here already.
Oh, he's already
He was in
here.
America, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's Jewish, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. But,
That's dope.
it's... Anyway, I love this guy. He's a terrific host. Lana, brilliant. She's sharp. She's not too bad looking either.
Thanks. Uncle Marvin he be flirting with me. I flirt back.
So,
What's the rating cards? She's a. No, I'm just kidding.
number 12?
Number 12. I'll take a number 12 with sauce on the side.
I'm saucy, motherfucker.
Spicy sauce on the
I'm
side.
saucy. I got that hot sauce right on me.
So, Lana,
Yes.
this is unrehearsed.
Yes.
We haven't talked about anything, right?
No.
I want you to ask me a question.
You know what? Just because I've always been curious about, because when me and you have our chats in the office, you tell me about how you were in like the movie business and film and stuff like that. I wanted.
It was music business.
Oh, it's
basically.
music. I thought it
Yeah.
was movies. My
No,
bad.
music.
So in music, how was the experience with, like, I guess like people fucking you over and people being like two-faced, and because I know that industry has like zero chill.
Welcome to the entertainment business.
That part. I want the real.
I have been fucked over more times, monetarily.
Yeah.
Been fucked over more times. I was always on the white collar side. Manager, agent, producer, and
Nice.
the.
Can you name some people that you?
No,
were?
I can't. I can't do that. No, because they're all dead.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
They're dead to me.
I was like,
Dead to me. You hear me? They're
that
dead to
dark
me.
so quick. Fuck.
No, I don't want to name names because it's not.
They're dead to him.
Mostly monetarily. You do a job, you figure you're going to get paid. They're always not satisfied with something or other.
Yeah.
And the first thing they use is they're not paying you.
Right.
And it doesn't pay to sue them and go through all that rigmarole. So you just drop them as a client. That's all, But yeah, it goes on to this day.
Still.
Still.
I'm still getting fucked
Nothing's
over.
nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
No, unless you get your money up front.
Yeah, I need to get that stripper mentality and just be like
Transactional.
Yes, very transactional. Be
Here's
like,
the
I need my
money.
money right now.
Just wear a garter belt or something.
That's a new channel we're starting. Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
Put OnlyFans out of business.
What do you got, David?
Well, no, that was good question she had. I mean, the industry's changed. I was watching this documentary how the film industry was started in New York. Before it was in Hollywood, and Thomas Edison owned the rights to the entertainment film industry. And he put all these regulations in place and all these stipulations, and people got tired of it, so they moved to California, and that's how Hollywood was created.
Oh.
Right?
Edison, New Jersey. That's where it started.
I didn't know
Edison,
that.
Oh, I thought, okay, so New Jersey, not New York.
Yeah, it was
New
Edison.
Jersey.
They named
Jersey.
They named the town after him, Edison, which was right near a place called Island, New Jersey, where my great aunt and uncle lived. They lived right next door to Edison. It was all farmland, And I used to spend a couple of weeks a year, summer vacations there. It was beautiful.
And so then it came to California,
Then
right?
I came to California. It was with the Warner Brothers, Jack Warner, 1907, 1911, something like that. And Warner Brothers started their studio.
So
MGM came out there, Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
now I know it's been controversial to talk about, and which I don't know why. Because Kanye brought it up, and I'm not bringing it up in a negative context, but the Jewish folks run Hollywood. Is that a fact? To the most Mayer, Goldwyn Mayer,
MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer,
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, Jack and his brothers.
Why?
But
How
there
did
was
that?
also a lot of Italians in there too.
Right. But there's Italian Jews, though, too, right?
There are Italians. There's Jews of all nationalities.
But why is that? Why is it dominated by that culture? How did that happen? And it's not. I'm not speaking in a negative context.
You're genuinely asking.
I can't really answer that. The mentality of innovations and science and creativity, that's what education. It was all about education.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm like, if it's in the family, it's just kind of like, how
But they came from a very poor family.
But they
like,
brought a lot
if
over
you're
from
in-
Germany, though, too, like scientists and
Russia
stuff.
and Germany, Poland.
They brought a lot of the.
all the European countries.
Okay.
Yeah. All the Ashkenazi countries. But there was also Sephardic Jews, which are the Romance language countries, such as Spain and the Middle East.
He needs to be on the History Channel.
That part.
Well, it's not history, you know what it is? I lived through it.
That's history.
Well, the older you get,
The Last Supper. That's been a long time,
the
Marvin.
older you get, the more
You
knowledge.
ain't shit, bro.
Which guy were you? You weren't Judah.
The older you get, the more knowledge you accumulate.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't have to be out of books. It could be from
But that's wisdom, right?
That's wisdom.
So a lot of people think wisdom is like, oh, you're smarter than me. It's like, no, I have more wisdom because I've been around longer. Doesn't mean I'm smarter than you.
Yes, exactly.
But if you're talking
Right.
to a 20-something-year-old and you don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're
But
talking about.
sometimes, because that's a little unfair too, because I'm like, sometimes 20-year-olds are wise as shit. It just depends on how they were raised, or like sometimes they've lived a
They're
life
wise,
that we
but
haven't.
they're not educated.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's facts. I could give you that.
Edumacated.
Educated.
Or either that, or they're like, it's just they're wise in some senses.
and brainwashed.
Oh,
The
I
newer
think everybody's
generation today, the newer generation today is totally brainwashed.
by the LGBT community.
Well, I just saw.
Don't get me started.
Well, you know what? I just saw that the majority of the people going to the Ivy League schools, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, are part of the Pride community. Because as they're recruiting, as they're taking applications, you know, when it gets into employment and all that stuff too, they're talking about their background. And so these institutions are taking on this certain brand, I would call, or a culture or people. And it was saying how the percentages are overwhelmingly part of the Pride community going to these Ivy League schools, which gets into law, which gets into...
Well, the Supreme Court just made a ruling that said that they can't do that any longer.
Yeah, but when the Supreme Court in 20, 30, 40 years all has the same belief structure. See, because the Constitution says one thing, but everybody's trying to push that envelope, the left, and go over the Constitution and go against it. At what point do you think they'll ever try to...
Never. It won't happen. We either are a country that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence has dictated, or we're not a country.
Okay, so these are good questions, right?
Can I add a little theory to what you said?
Yeah, this is his show. Go for it.
Well, because I heard that story about how like LGBT communities are like kind of taking over the colleges, and I feel like the reason why they're doing that is because you get paid grants for being LGBT now. You can get like a grant for being transgender, which will pay you to go to school, which will pay Yale 1,000%. Like instead of having like the little family payments here and there, you get an actual scholarship and a grant.
Really?
Just for being fucking gay, bro. Just because you want to change your sex, you get fucking grants now.
So what's wrong with that picture?
The thing is that I don't want to say selfish. Not selfish.
It's discriminating.
Greedy.
It is discriminating.
It's greedy. It's not necessarily discriminating because they're trying to add the LGBT community.
How about if we call that brainwashing?
That's brainwashing. Yeah, no, 1,000%.
How about brainwashing?
That's brainwashing. But I just feel like it's greedy upon the school. It's greedy for the schools to accept that because they're just like, oh, we get scholarships for being gay. Come on over here. I'm gonna get paid.
For what it's worth, my opinion is this country is waking up. I think this country is waking up, whether you're a liberal, a Democrat, or Republican, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whether you're white, black, green, yellow, it doesn't matter. You're waking up. America is waking up. This shit has to stop. Otherwise, we're not a country. We're not a country. We're no longer a republic.
What do you mean by that? In what sense? Like,
well, we're not really a democratic country. We're a republic.
We're the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible. So we are the republic.
That doesn't mean we're Republicans. We're just a republic.
Yeah.
We are a free society that have certain inalienable rights as dictated by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence. Those are our laws. And if we don't follow those laws and interpret them not the way you want to, but the way it's written, then we've got a huge problem. And we've had a problem, I would say, for the last, how long has he been in office?
Who, Biden?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Almost the 4 years. No,
almost 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years.
Well, we've had a big problem in the last 3 years. Huge.
Yes.
Are you better off now than you were 3 years ago?
Fuck no. I was better off in 2020 than I am right now. I was making so much money in 2020 compared to what I'm making right now.
2021 was my best year financially.
Yes.
And over, I mean, I've been working since I was 15 and a half. I've had a job, right? I was a busboy.
Fuck yeah.
Got fired after the weekend.
Yeah. So this is not... See,
I was at the Pancake House in Burien, Washington. They fired me. She gave me a check. I'm like, that's it? And I was like, who's FICA? Why is he taking my money?
Yeah.
Right?
So this is not coming from an old guy like me who's lived through bad times, bad times. This is coming from you guys, the younger generation, who is saying, this guy sucks.
And we understand that he sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. I want to go back to this. And Lana, you can interject at any time. Feel free.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question because, I'm all about
Uncle Marvin.
Uncle Marvin. Ask the old man. The Last Supper Club. That's part of that, right? You said again, I'm all about backing the Constitution, but you said that they're not going to push it, or that you don't think they'll change it. Right now, they're already challenging the First Amendment, which is the right of religion and free speech, right? And they're already trying to put laws in place to go against the First Amendment. Now, I understand, because they call it hate speech. Now, here's my thing with hate speech. You can say you hate it, but if you try to regulate it, then it's not the freedom of speech. Don't get me wrong.
I get it.
I don't think, saying certain things to cultures, races, religion, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you can't make it illegal, because now First Amendment no longer exists. And so, like, for example, in Canada, there's a comedian that went to jail or prison because he was making jokes about Asians. So we're the only country in the world that has free speech. Everybody's like, no, we have it. No, you don't.
Right.
If you say certain things in certain countries, you go to jail.
Right.
That lady
Emotional damage.
that lady that just went to, I believe it was Dubai or something like that. She was
yelling at a man.
She was yelling at a man, and
she went to prison.
She went to prison.
Yeah, she went to prison.
She's been in it for a month.
And look at Andrew Tate,
Right.
Well, that was over TikTok,
But you
supposedly.
see, the Constitution, I have an old saying, if you screw with my First Amendment, I'll use my Second Amendment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right to bear arms.
Right. And that's the basis of this country. That's why the Second Amendment was put in place. So the First Amendment wouldn't be screwed with.
So we need a layman's term. You know what? You should write a book. The Constitution by the old man, Uncle Marvin, in layman's
He
terms.
said, let me say what the fuck I want
Don't
to say.
fuck
But
with
if
me.
you say what the fuck you want to say, motherfucker, I'm bearing arms.
Because-
you gangster, bro.
Like, I have a book. I have the book in my house, in my library, right? A lot of people don't know what a library is now. But it's, I read it, but it'd be great to have like a coffee table book, right?
Of what?
Just a basic, it's called Basic Bitch Constitution by Uncle Marvin. And the first one says, you fuck with me, I fuck with you.
Yeah.
I go to the Second Amendment. Don't fuck with what I say, right? And you know what I mean? Like, it's basic. Because I think when you start reading those books, you get lost in translation. You try to decipher it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it'd be good if they had like a shorter version, not to do like the Mormons add a book to it, but I'm just saying, like,
The Mormons.
create a shorter version so elementary school kids can say, oh, but have an
First step, load your magazine. Second step, put the magazine in the rifle.
that version.
Let me tell you, the Second Amendment in 1776,
You were born then?
no, was, sure, it says the militia, right? It says, in the Second Amendment, it says the militia shall have the right to bear arms.
Right.
But everybody was in the militia. There was no formal militia. A farmer was in the militia. A cobbler, a shoemaker was in the militia. A banker was in the militia. Today, they are so convoluting the word militia. If I want to be in the militia tomorrow morning, I'm in the militia. I go join the militia. I'm in the militia. I have the right to defend this country. Everybody can claim them. If these people can go out and claim they are a woman instead of a man, I can claim I'm in the militia.
We're going down that rabbit hole now.
I'm in the militia today.
Let's ask him, what is a woman?
What is a woman?
Oh, God. Here we go.
No, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So the Second Amendment is, you cannot tear apart the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court ruled on it, I think, about a year ago.
But see, when they're going back to the Supreme Court of Justice, right?
Yeah.
The voting, when they vote, there's always three people that are going against everything. And once it becomes lopsided, are you with me? This is what I'm worried about.
No.
Right. They just voted 6-3 on all three decisions.
And the three
right.
that were voting against everything that we stand for as a country are way leaning left.
Yes.
And once that Supreme Court changes, once I was talking about Harvard, Princeton, the Ivy League schools bringing on the LGBTQ
Community.
XY to the third power community.
I hate your fucking guts.
I don't know what it is. I don't know the rest. Just call them alphabet soup kids, right? But they bring and I'm
With
not,
math in it.
no, but I'm not. I'm joking with it, but I'm not making fun of the individuals. But I don't even know the whole acronym now or the code.
There's pedo in it. At this point, I don't respect them either.
Once that all goes to the Supreme Court justice. So here's the thing: if we don't do, then my belief, and I didn't really want to get into politics too much, but if we don't go Republican with 8 years, we're in trouble.
Right.
Because we're so far off, we need to get back to zero and then go forward.
Right.
I feel that.
Right. You're right. But let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh, he's asking questions now. Ask
Let me
Lana
ask-
first.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Who tipped the scale in the Supreme Court in the last go-around?
It was, what's his name? Oh, God, I'm drawing a blank.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He put 6 Republicans
I thought you were talking about who in the Supreme Court.
No.
Oh, yeah.
who tipped the scale in the Supreme Court. Donald Trump. He sees the handwriting on the wall. He saw the handwriting on the wall. He knew that if the liberals took over that Supreme Court, this country is through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, now there's a 6-3 ratio. And if you look at the last 3 rulings currently, the decisions that the Supreme Court just made, it was 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Okay? So, what I'm saying is, you're right. If you give the left-wing liberals a chance to get into the Supreme Court and upset that scale, we're in deep shape. We're in deep shit.
We're in deep shit now.
That's why we, the American public, cannot allow the left wing to gain more power than they already have. They can't tell me how to raise my kids. They can't tell me if I should wear a mask or not. They can't tell me if I should take an injection.
That's communism.
That is communism. That's socialism, communism, fascism. It's everything wrapped into one.
Once they start violating the Fourth Amendment search and seizures, unconstitutional search and seizures.
Absolutely.
That because socialism is about equality of income, like across the masses, right? Like if Elon's making all this money, we should all make. Everybody makes the same amount of money.
Right.
No.
That's Venezuela, right? And the
Yeah.
communism is when the
make the same.
government owns everything.
We should. It's not that we should all make the same. It's that he should give his money to people that don't have it.
That's what socialism is.
That's what socialism is.
But so in the communism is when the government owns, like China, they'll own part of every private
You
company.
can't own anything in socialism.
So, for example, the guy, I think his name was, I don't remember, it was Jack Wan or something like that. He was the guy that owned that company like Amazon. George,
Yeah.
what's that company like Amazon where everybody buys their goods from?
eBay?
eBay?
No. It's over in China, but it's where all the people.
Alibaba?
What? Alibaba.
Alibaba.
So Jack Ma, he owned Alibaba. He was one of the wealthiest guys in the world. And what happened was he started speaking against the Chinese government, and they took his business, took his bank account. He can't travel. Now he's just like, and I don't say we're poor, but we're peasants compared to what he was.
Yeah.
And now he's back down to reality land, and they took everything. That's communism.
That's
Like
communism.
the-
North Korea, communism.
Yeah.
Well, we have a
God.
police power. We have a police state now. What they're doing to Trump is insane. I mean, because he's leading in the polls, because they think he's going to, win the presidential elections, which I hope he does. Just to show you where my head's at. They're pulling stuff on him that's just incredible. You never think in a million years they would do that in this country.
But the countries that do that, they try to throw their
Fascists.
their competitor, the person they're running against them in office,
Right.
they throw them in prison.
They destroy them.
Mussolini did it. They did it in China. They did it in North Korea.
Right.
So if you go through the history around the world,
Russia.
if you run against Putin, you're going to end up dead or in prison,
Correct.
right?
Or with a horse's head in bed with you.
Horse's head. What's that?
Come on, The Godfather?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I didn't remember the movie, but I've seen it.
It's too early. He's like, let's do a podcast at 10 in the morning. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I said, Jesus and the Mexicans don't get up that early. What's wrong with you? I'm
Even
joking.
the Mexicans, I'm dead. Champurrado, tamales.
No, dude, they're up early, man. Like, they were building the houses in our neighborhood, the new homes. And it's like, I'm not kidding you. And my girlfriend's Mexican, so we joke with each other in a fun way. And I swear to God, it's 7 o'clock in the morning on the dot, because whatever the sound code is, you know, for the cities, I think it's 8 or 7. At not 7:01, not 6:59, 7 o'clock. And they're on the roof, and you hear everybody. It's like a mariachi band. I look out the window, and there's 8 dudes with yellow shirts on.
Yeah.
They're wrapped up with long sleeves and a hat, and they've got their Modelos next to them. And they're putting the roof. I'm like, oh my God, will they hurry up and finish this house? Right? And then at lunch at 12, when we're getting up, my dog's like out on the deck, and you can see him. And I look over, and they're all having lunch, right, up against the wall. And they're talking. I don't know what they're saying, but she's telling me the stories. Oh my God, he's talking about his Tia, and she needs her teeth, you know. And I'm like, this went over. As soon as they finished the house, it took 5 houses because the music echoes. But it was cool, you know. I said, dude, your cousins are at it again, right? Anyways, so do you have any questions for him?
Ask me another
him some
question.
Oh, I just wanted to say, first off, racist jokes are like a love language. I feel like if we can make racist jokes to each other, like if you're making fun of the fact that I'm Mexican and I'm making the fun of the fact that you're white. Yeah, see.
Oh, I better hide
that
my...
shit,
I better hide
that's just like,
Yeah.
like you
my
hold
car.
my
How
heart.
do you like this? I'm going to make a Jewish joke. Okay?
You gonna make a Jewish joke?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to make fun of Jews. Ready?
Now, wait. Full
No,
disclosure.
wait,
He's
wait.
Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
He's Jewish.
Yeah, I am Jewish.
He's black. No, just kidding. He's Jewish.
I'm 1,000% Jewish.
No, like I'm saying, like if people.
You know why Jews have big noses?
Why?
The air is free.
You cheap motherfuckers.
I have Uncle Marvin's business tip that I feel like right now is the perfect time to play it.
Let's
So
go.
Uncle Marvin's business tip was actually like one of the first iterations of what we did here with Uncle Marvin at the studio before this podcast. So
Dr. Phil.
we're going we're going to listen in on Uncle Marvin's first ever Uncle Marvin's business tip.
Business tip. It's time for Uncle Marvin's business tips.
For all you business people, there is a Ted Turner quote that has driven me all of my years in business. And the quote goes like this: early to bed, early to rise, work hard, and advertise.
I like that. That was good.
So
I like that.
I like that.
advertising, Marvin.
Advertising.
Advertising.
I have a lot of fucking questions now.
Uh-oh.
Not a lot, but maybe. So, cause you said you were an agent for music artists though, or was
Music
it?
artist, right.
Yeah, cause I'm like, if I wanted to get into acting, what would be your best advice for
Get a-
some, like if we're doing advertising?
Get a day job.
Get a day job. Have
Oh my
one.
God.
Fuck.
That's acting.
Cause it's oh shit. I know what he means too, because I'm like, cause it's just hard to get
Get a
in
day
there.
job.
You need a day job. But how do you advertise yourself?
Oh my God, you have to get an agent.
Yeah.
I think that's the first step.
A publicist.
No, the publicist comes later.
Yeah.
Don't you got a network though? Like it's
Yeah,
That's
you
you
know.
what
have to
it is, 'cause, yeah.
Networking is getting an agent. You have to network yourself with agents. You got to find an agent that really believes in you. Because agents, today it's all dollars and cents. It's always been dollars and cents.
Yeah.
If you're not making any money, the agents don't want to bother with you. You know,
Yeah.
my son is an agent.
Yeah.
My oldest son. He works
Oh,
with
that's right.
he works with CAA,
Right.
and he's big time agent. And if you don't make a money, they don't want to even
don't even look
take a
at
phone
you.
call. You know,
Don't you have to go to like casting calls when they have them in L.A.?
you got to go to casting calls. You got to audition. You got to go through a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you'll never. I shouldn't say never. It's going to be very hard to make a living because you multiply yourself by 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
They're all out there trying to get the same job you
Right.
are, you know? So it's changed, and the entertainment business has changed dramatically.
I mean, you got a good look. You got a good personality. I mean, you have the ability. If anybody has the ability in the studio, do it. You.
Yeah.
I believe that.
You're vivacious, you're
you got-
outgoing, you're friendly, you're humorous.
Thank you.
I think it's just a matter of like meeting the right person because you could go to all these casting calls, right? Not the casting couch, Lana. I'm talking about casting calls. Don't get it twisted. I know she's like, I'm going to a casting couch. Lana, the other casting, okay?
That hasn't stopped today either. You know? Casting
might help
couches.
me, you know.
Well, wait. I'm not. I should. I was gonna say something, but I won't.
Say it.
She's too old for Harvey Weinstein. They're gonna pull the video. Sorry. You better bleep that out, George.
Mark.
That was slanderous.
I get sued for defamation of character. My name is Jorge Hernandez.
Hector.
Cabron.
Not my job, man.
Did I do good? Kamate. Is it? How do you say? Is it kamate?
Kamate.
Kamate.
Cálmate.
Calmate.
Yeah.
All right. You know my Spanish word I made up.
What?
Tarazo.
That asshole?
That ass though. That ass though. So
Yeah.
my girlfriend's aunts, like, because they're like, como? Everything was como, right? I'm like, no, I'm not in a coma. They're like, como. It's like como. Perry Como?
You're
Right?
a homo?
They're like, como? Like what? Perry Como. I'm not Perry Como, right? But they want me to learn Spanish, and so I came up with this word called that ass though. So if you see a hot Latina and you want to say something in Spanish, say that asshole. They're
That
like,
asshole.
como? That asshole. Como? Oh, ay, cabrón. La, 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 la.
So,
Anyways.
did you did you have any more to add to that question, or
No, okay, to be fair, like I've it's Hollywood, right? I've gotten into trying to get an agent before, and my agent was very much like, trying to sleep with me.
Ah, Harvey.
welcome to
Yeah,
the
and that's the industry. So I've been, as much as I do want an agent, I have a lot of trust issues when it comes to men. So I'm like, when based on my history, I'm like the people that I've worked
I don't
with.
blame you. I really don't blame you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the nature of the business.
Do you think? So I know we're asking him questions, but I'm going to ask her a question.
Yeah.
Do you think women or men that are at that level in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
do you think if they given the opportunity, do you think they'd all try to make sexual advances to say, hey, I can get you in this film, but you're going to have to do something for me? And I say women now because women are engaging.
Women are just as nasty. Women are just
sure.
as nasty. Like women who are at that caliber, they're still gonna be like, well, if you want me, do this for me. Be
It's
my
called
bitch.
power.
It's called power, exactly.
Yeah, everybody wants something for something.
Called power.
Right.
I have power over you.
Yeah.
And you're going to do what I tell you to do. Otherwise, you're not getting what you want.
Exactly.
It's called power.
And there's no regulation in Hollywood for that. Like
There's
there's
laws against it. I mean, forget about regulation. There's laws against
Mm-hmm.
it. But people want to get ahead, so people will acquiesce to whatever.
And there's somebody else that will do that. And then if you sue, they'll
if it's
settle out
not
of
you,
court.
it'll be somebody else.
Here's $5 million to be quiet.
Yeah.
You take the $5 million.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's why you don't. That's why they don't get sued.
Unfortunately,
Right.
there's very few of those.
But to
Very
be
few.
fair, like me personally, like I feel like if I would have taken all those opportunities to sleep with those people, I would have already been winning fucking Oscars and Emmys. Like I would have been fucking up there already. But
Is that worth it?
No, that's why I'm trying to do it
there's no
myself.
way
I don't have an agent. I'm trying to do this by myself. Like, I even intern for myself. Like, I'm like, I give up my time in order to have my studio time because I don't want no one to help
Hollywood's
me.
moving here, so
It is. Hollywood is
Did you
moving
hear about
here.
the studio?
It is.
Yeah, the studio. Sony put $1 billion into the film industry
Isn't-
here.
What's his name? Wahlberg opening up a studio here?
Who? Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. So
Do you
Sony.
guys know Mark Wahlberg? I want to shake hands.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
So, but Sony put $1 billion into the film industry here,
Yeah.
and then Howard Hughes Jr. that built Summerlin, by the way, he put $44 million into
You know
the
how
film
Summerlin
industry.
got its name?
What?
You know how Summerlin got its name?
No.
It was Howard Hughes' mother-in-law.
Summerlin?
Summerlin was her maiden name.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
That's cute. I didn't know that.
People that don't know
Vegas
that are watching
history?
this, Summerlin is a subdivision of Las Vegas. It's unincorporated, but it's high-end residential. A lot of people live there on the west side.
It's
West
nice.
side. Right?
Yep. It's Las Vegas has a great history. What a
Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah.
watching. I want you to go do this, Lana.
What?
I was watching George back there, the man, the myth, the legend. I was watching the on YouTube the history of Las Vegas. Like I did the 50s and 60s. They got the 40s and 30s, and I'm watching it going, I didn't know that. It was amazing to see
The growth.
how all the stuff I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, and
Send me links. I wanna
I'll send you the
know.
links, yeah.
Okay.
You know who built Las Vegas?
who?
The mafia.
Well, besides Bugsy Siegel, it was the Italians, the Jews, and the Mormons.
Yep. I knew that.
Dang, I'm left out.
Ah, seen it.
Italians, Jews, and Mormons.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch.
It was the Italian mafia
Yeah.
with the Jewish mafia
Yep.
and the Mormons, who were the bankers here,
Yeah, and there was two
and the
newspapers
ranch
that went
owners
at
and
it.
the landowners.
It was crazy. And everything here in the valley, there was trees. There was trees and farms. This was all like there was trees.
Trees?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you have so many underground rivers that
Oh,
run
it was
through.
crazy. And you know where the west side, like MLK and all that stuff right there before, or I would say Spring Valley or just left of the strip. Even MLK. So it was all black. MLK was all black, right? So downtown Las Vegas, not the city of Las Vegas, not the strip. So Fremont, everything left of there was all black. It was poor. And then the right side was all high end white. Right? So this is how they segregated Vegas. And I'm watching it going, and so essentially what happened is that the first time that they crossed the line is Frank Sinatra. Sammy Davis Jr. showed up. They wouldn't he had to go in the back door.
The back doors.
He couldn't go in the front door because he was black.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let any of the blacks work on the casino floor.
He couldn't stay at a hotel either.
You couldn't stay at the hotel. And then they created the first all-black hotel casino. It only stayed open for like a week. But it was interesting and then the two newspapers went at it.
That's fucked up. What's up, homie?
Well, you know how Sammy ended up staying. It was because of Sinatra. Sinatra told the casino, "I'm not going on unless Sammy has a room in this place."
Aw, that's
And
so nice. That's dope.
And that's when they broke
didn't
that
know that.
color barrier,
Aw.
and from then on,
How long have you been in Vegas?
since living here,
Yeah.
since 2002,
2002.
20 years, 21 years, 22 years,
Because I was gonna say like you've been to Vegas before that
since
though, right?
1970.
Okay, so how like
Wow.
Huge changes.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Did you ever see Elvis?
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been
It's
fucking amazing.
At that time, it was the International Hotel. Now it was the Hilton, and now I don't know what it is.
No, well they blew it up
Westgate.
already. It's already
And then
No,
done.
no, they're still there. The Hilton's still there.
Is it?
And
Oh
the-
no, it's Westgate.
Westgate.
now.
And my mom worked at the World's Fair in 1962 in Seattle and met Elvis.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, you know who my ex-brother and my former brother-in-law is?
The Tony Orlando.
Tony Orlando,
Yeah.
right. You're right. So
Yeah.
he's been a long time. He started here in 1970, 71, 72.
Oh, my mom's such a huge fan. I didn't even know who
At the
Tony
You know what
Riviera,
you should
he was
do?
at the Riviera
When he's
Hotel.
here, get him on the show with Lana
Yeah,
and
that's-
then tell your mom to watch.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
she would fucking die. Let me tell you.
Does your mom live here?
Yes.
He'll
Dude,
be
have
here.
her come in the studio
Oh my gosh, she would die.
Tony will be here in August.
in August. Set it up. And
Can we?
George,
Yeah, he's
can
performing
do
at the South
Lana
Point.
and have Lana and Tony on, and then maybe and obviously have the show, and then have your mom as a guest here.
Oh
in the
my
room.
God, that would be.
I'll,
We'll have
I'll
a
give
live
him a
studio
little.
audience.
I'll give
That
him a
would
little.
be so
And then
amazing.
have him sing like one line, and your mom would be
a little
like,
promo for Tony. He'll
My
be at
mom's
this.
underwears would be so wet, and she's an older lady.
I
They'd
know.
be moist.
He's like, it wouldn't be the first time.
Like, my
I'll tell-
mom would
They didn't throw
fucking
underwears on
die.
stage back then, did they?
She would
Yeah,
die.
with Tom Jones.
Oh yeah, hello,
You know, the
pussycat.
first time I met Tony Orlando, unfortunately, I didn't know who Tony Orlando was, right? My mom loves him, but I just never heard of him. So I met him as John's dad. So I go, hi, my name's Anal Backwards. And he's like, oh, girl, you're funny. Come in, you're funny, right? I told my mom, I was like, Mom, do you know who Tony Orlando is? And she was like, oh my God, mija. Oh my, yes, I do. Tell him I love him, right? And I was like, Mom, I introduced myself as Anal Backwards. And she goes, no, you didn't, mija. I raised you better than that. No, you didn't. I was like, I'm so sorry. Because I was like, I was myself. And my mom was like horrified. Yeah. She's a huge fucking fan. Huge fan.
Just to give Tony a little promo, he'll be at the South Point Casino
Hell yeah.
at the beginning of August.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Performing.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I want to ask you in closing. I know I don't know, how's our time, George? We good? Okay, so we asked this before, and maybe you can ask him, Lana, some stuff about before we close the show for this segment for Marvin. What should the younger generation be focused on as a country to better themselves as individuals? You grew up through a lot of stuff. You grew up through, history, travesty in history. You overcame all the obstacles,
poverty,
race, poverty, ethnic, everything.
Wow.
Being poor, being rich. How do they stay focused and stay successful or become successful?
The word you're using, success, is a connotation of a destiny. Well, success is not the destiny. Success is a journey. There's no high, there's no limit. How do you achieve that? You achieve it by finding something that you're really passionate about and you have dreams about, sticking to it, work hard at it, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
Anything you
It'll
want to
come
add
to you.
or ask him?
I was going to ask something a whole lot less inspirational. I wanted to know your wildest, sex drug story in Vegas.
Casting Couch 101.
Believe it or not, I have never done drugs in my life.
No.
Except prescription.
You're not high right now. Shut the... I thought you were something.
I drink. I don't do drugs.
I'm the total opposite.
Wow.
What's your wildest sex story in Vegas? Because I know we've talked a lot.
My wildest sex story?
Just...
All right, I'll end it with a little laughter. I had an opportunity of being with 3 women for the weekend. But a guy my age, has a little heart condition. So I went to my doctor and I said, Doc, I have an opportunity of being with 3 women over the weekend. I need some help. I need those little blue pills. The doctor said to me, no, I can't give them to you because of your heart condition. I said, Doc, you don't understand. I've already had 2 women for the weekend, but never 3. So the doctor said to me, considering what it is, I'll give it to you on one condition. I said, Doc, what is it? He said that you come in Monday morning and let me examine you from head to toe and make sure everything's okay. I said, Doc, that's it? Done. I'll do it. Gives me the pills. Comes Monday morning. I came into the doctor's office. My arm was in a sling, all wrapped up with a sling, and I couldn't move my arm. The doctor said to me, what the hell happened to you? I said, nobody showed up.
Oh wow! I'm like, he did. I want to know.
You're best.
Punchline. You want to close out?
Yeah,
Uncle
so.
Marvin. That was a great
Thank
first
you. Oh, my God,
episode.
thank you,
Right
thank
That
you.
was great.
So I want to thank everybody, all two of you people who are listening and watching. These terrific guests. Lana, you're terrific.
I love you, Uncle
I love
Marvin.
you Derek, I don't love you, but I like you a lot.
It's my first Jewish experience. Come on.
And George, thank you so much for being the producer.
Yay, George.
Thanks, George.
Absolutely.
So I want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for the first show of Ask the Old Man, Uncle Marvin. And I hope you tune back in again. We're going to try to do this every Friday at 12 o'clock, high noon.
I
If
knew.
you ever
Yeah, you
watch
got to
the
come
movie.
on a lot, though. You got to help
Yeah, you're
out,
terrific,
like,
Lana. You're wonderful.
you're good. Definitely.
So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next
Stay
week.
strong. That was good.
That was